You're running through an endless maze of identical hallways, and you can hear it behind you. The sound of water, slowly rising. It started like every Backrooms story does. One moment, you're in the real world. The next, reality glitches, and you're standing in a place that shouldn't exist. For most people who no-clip into the Backrooms, it's the familiar yellow wallpaper and humming fluorescent lights of level 0. But for a small, unlucky few, they fall straight into something far worse. They fall into level 7. They call it the Thalassophobia. The first sign that you're there is the smell. Damp concrete, mildew, salt. Then you notice your feet are wet. You're standing in water about ankle deep, and it's ice cold. The hallways here look similar to level 0, same endless corridors, same buzzing lights, but everything is darker, older, decaying. The wallpaper peels away in long strips. The ceiling tiles sag with moisture, and everywhere, always, there's the water. At first, you think you can just wade through it. Find a stairwell, find an exit, find anywhere that goes up. But here's what nobody tells you about level 7 until it's too late. The water rises, slowly, imperceptibly, but it rises. An explorer named Marcus was the first to document this in detail. He kept an audio log on his phone, recording everything he saw. In his first entry, the water was at his ankles. He sounded calm, almost analytical. He noted the architecture, the flooded rooms, the way sound echoed differently here. By his second entry, 3 hours later, the water was at his knees. He wasn't calm anymore. He'd been trying to find stairs, trying to find a way up, but every stairwell he found was blocked, collapsed, flooded completely. Or worse, they led down. By hour 6, the water was at his waist, and Marcus made a chilling discovery. He wasn't alone. Something was moving in the water with him. He couldn't see it. The water was too murky, filled with decades of sediment and decay, but he could feel the displacement. Something large, brushing past him in the dark. His voice in that recording is barely a whisper. "It touched me. Oh God, it touched me." The entity in level 7 doesn't have an official name. The few survivors who've escaped call it the drowned. Others call it the thing in the deep. But everyone who's encountered it describes the same horror. You don't see it coming. You just feel the water move, feel something wrap around your ankle, and then you're pulled under. Marcus's final recording is almost unbearable to listen to. The water had reached his chest. He was exhausted, hypothermic, barely able to keep his phone above the surface. He'd given up trying to find an exit. Now he was just trying to stay alive, and then, in the middle of a sentence, he stops. There's a sound like a sudden splash, a gasp, and then nothing but the sound of water gently lapping against the walls. They found his phone 3 weeks later, floating in level 7, still recording. The battery had somehow lasted. The last 17 hours of footage showed nothing but water, rising inch by inch, until finally the phone itself went under, and the recording became nothing but murky darkness and that constant, suffocating sound of water filling every space. But Marcus wasn't the only victim. A group of 4 explorers entered level 7 together, thinking safety in numbers would help. For a while, it did. They moved as a unit, rope tied between them so nobody would get separated in the maze of flooded corridors. But as the hours passed and the water rose, something began to hunt them. One by one, they felt it. A tug on the rope, a splash behind them. When they turned around, one of them would be gone. Just gone. Pulled under without a sound. By the time the water reached their necks, only one explorer remained. She was found days later on level 6, catatonic, her hands still clutching a severed rope. The few people who've escaped level 7 all describe the same nightmare. The rising water isn't the worst part. It's the waiting. knowing that somewhere beneath the surface, something is circling, something that's been down there for a very long time. Some theorists believe the drowned was once human, someone who no-clipped into level 7 years ago and couldn't escape. They drowned. But the Backrooms doesn't let things die properly. It changes them, transforms them. Now the drowned is part of level 7 itself, an entity bound to the flooded halls, forever hunting anyone unlucky enough to fall in. Others think it's something older, something that existed before the Backrooms, a creature from the deepest, darkest parts of the ocean that somehow found its way into this impossible space between realities. But here's what keeps experienced explorers awake at night. Level 7 is expanding. The water is spreading. Explorers have reported finding flooded corridors in level 0 now, areas that were dry just months ago, rooms where the carpet squishes underfoot, halls where water drips from the ceiling, pooling in the corners. And sometimes, if you listen very carefully in those newly flooded areas, you can hear it. A sound like something massive moving through water, getting closer. There's a warning that circulates among Backrooms explorers now. If you smell salt water, run. If you hear dripping that doesn't match the rhythm of the lights, run faster. And if you feel something brush against your leg in water that shouldn't be there, don't look down, because once the drowned has touched you, it knows where you are, and the water will keep rising until there's nowhere left to run. The last confirmed exit from level 7 was found by an explorer named Sarah. She'd been trapped for 11 hours, the water up to her chin, when she found a ventilation shaft. She crawled through it, the water following her, rising in the shaft itself until she finally broke through into level 1. She made it out, but she hasn't been the same since. She refuses to take showers, won't go near swimming pools, can't even look at a glass of water without shaking, because she says she can still feel it sometimes, late at night. That sensation of something wrapping around her ankle, just beginning to pull. Level 7 is still down there, still waiting, and the water keeps rising.